Hello, my name is Jo here at Strawberry Attic, and today I'm showing you the Phoenix dress for the Gryffindor house colours for a wedding I recently attended up at the Peckforton Castle in the north of England. This dress was made for my friend Paula, and unfortunately Paula lives a good hour and a half's drive away, so having to make the dress with such a distance between us during a pandemic was no easy feat. I only got over to her once to do a measure, and that was before I'd even started making the dress. And unfortunately most of the video of me making the dress has seemed to have disappeared, so you've only got little bits and pieces here, I'm afraid. But the dress was made using a body block that I then decided to adapt on the shoulder to have some folds and some swooping of fabric across the dress. The dress was then embellished with a Forks Phoenix style pattern. I created this pattern on Photoshop and then had it converted over to the software that I use on my new Singer sewing machine. This was only the second project that I have made on this sewing machine, and probably an 18 block pattern was not the best one to start with. The way that embroidery machines work, if you go bigger than the embroidery ring, you actually have to line the patterns up perfectly and to get them all to create one design. I had a few trials and errors. This was actually my second attempt at making the dress, and it still wasn't going perfect, getting those seams. So here I am in the video just joining up the bits of the design where they didn't quite line up. Had to fudge a few places to get it all right, but by the time I'd covered the dress with Swarovski crystals, gold crystals and sequins and beads, I think I got away with it. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a disaster with the dress. As I say, I was making this for my friend who lives a good hour and a half away, and we were going to get round this by having a laced corseted back on the dress so it could be taken a little bit smaller if I didn't get it absolutely perfect. I went happily along making the dress. I then made my own dress, the blue Ravenclaw dress that I was wearing to this event. And it was only the day before the wedding that I decided that if I could, I'd get the dress put on myself and get a few photos done. It was at this point I realised that I'd made the dress 6 inches too big for me. Paula is 4 inches smaller than me. So I had a mad dash at this point to take the whole dress apart, re-sew it together and get it all finished in time for getting up to the north of England. I had a 250-mile journey to get up to the wedding the day before the wedding, so I really didn't have time for things to go wrong. As these things always seem to end up managing, I did get the dress taken apart, put back together and finished on the day. I really hoped you've seen the few clips that I managed to save of making this dress and enjoyed seeing the end result of it. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and do leave me some comments. As I say, this is one of the first times that I was using my embroidery machine, and I would love to get some tips. So if any of you know how to use it properly, please do fill the comments with techniques on how I can learn to improve this. Here are a few photos of me modelling the dress. This is when it was still too big for me, so I am holding it in place on my hips here, and I'm wearing it with my red banjo irregular choice shoes and a fascinator of dyed red pheasant feathers, yellow cockerel feathers and the red sisal that I used to make the fascinator. The plan was that the feathers on the side of my head would sweep down through the phoenix bird into the feathers in the skirt and give it an all-encompassing look. The skirt to this dress was a single circle skirt. The skirt was finished with a horsehair braid, and Paula then wore it with a red lace petticoat to give it lots of volume on the day. Whilst I admit the dress was not perfect, on the day Paula got so many compliments on the dress. Everybody absolutely loved the design and I was absolutely over the moon with that, and she said she felt fantastic wearing it. And here she is doing the all-important spin. When you have a swooshy princess dress, you have to spin in it to make that skirt fly. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time.